Alright, all the minis are milled. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It actually took me longer to mill these out than it did to grind the bevels on the edges, surprisingly. So, spread these out so you can see them. Look at that. Lots of milling. So, since I'm waiting on some belts to finish up side profiling the larges, I gotta do the edges here. I think I'm going to knock the fixture out of the mill and toss in a different fixture to clean up the lock face and put about a 1.5 degree angle on the lock face. And I probably just do that on all of the frames, since it doesn't really matter if they're milled or not. That way I can continue working on the war horses, or the minis, excuse me, and try to get these done. I'll probably do these first since I'm delayed on the belts for the larges. I should have the blades in today with any luck. So that's that. I'll mill the lock faces on these, probably grind out the back spacers a little bit and take the tab off the inside of them. And then when the blades get here, I'll fit the blades to the frames, cut the locks, and finish grind them. And there's a couple of projects coming down the line. A whole back machete. It's 100,000 CPM 154. It's based off my chopper design. Same handle, same blade. But this one won't have a full height grind. It'll just be a bevel up here for an edge. So it's got a good strong chop to it. I can back up so you can see the thing. I believe, if I am not mistaken, it is an 18-inch blade. Could be wrong. Kitchen knives. I got like 24 of these bad boys. Let me know if you guys want some. I think I have a few spots left open for them. I've got one 6-inch blade. I had a guy that wanted a 6-inch and then he backed out. So I've got a 6-inch here, but the rest of them are 6.5s. So I think I got like 22, 24 of these. I got a handful of spots left open. You can just shoot me an email, jkobackKnives@yahoo.com. Let me know if you want one. They're going to have carbon fiber handles and carbon fiber pins for the handles, and it'll be a, I guess you'd call it a distal taper, full distal taper. So it'll be a smoothed in edge all the way up. So I go to 0 edge on these kitchen knives, and they seem to do pretty good. So enough of that. Back to the war horses. So there you are, guys. I'll do some more videos once I get some more done. Okay, so I'm all set up on the mill to clean up the lock face on these. Straight from WaterJet, you can use these lock faces the way they are. They're really not terrible. They're actually fairly smooth. Let me see if I can actually do this one-handed and show you the lock face. Maybe not. Well, take my word for it. When you get them from WaterJet, they're pretty smooth. And I've used them in the past just straight from WaterJet. Don't even do anything to it besides chamfer the edge of the lock face a little bit. Works just fine. I just prefer to mill it just to be double sure that it's super straight and flat and has a nice surface to carbonize. And then it's not quite as much of an issue. You don't run any hassles with it later. So what I'm doing is I'm just setting it up in the mill. And we will see if I can actually do this one-handed. Might have to set you down for a moment. I just take a pivot, pop it through on the backside, and then here's my mill base, or my jig. It's a piece of heavy angle iron. It's like 1/4 inch, a little over 1/4 inch, that I've surfaced on all sides to make it nice and flat and parallel. And then I have a set screw down on the bottom that's adjustable in height down below. Pivot hole goes through here. It's adjustable for my different models. And then this, you just push it down on the hole, get it lined up, and then wiggle it down. A little hard to do with one hand, but the friction kind of holds it in place there. And then I got to put my screw in. Just got a screw on an Allen key. And tighten it down real good. Oh, so now it's flat. I lucked out with these where I milled out the fuller on the other side of the frame. Actually lands right in the Allen key, and it makes it perfect for a little kind of indicator to line it up straight for the lock face. So what I do here, and hopefully y'all can check this out. I don't know. Tighten it up there. I'll turn this on and I'll just face it off real quick and I'll show you how I do it. And I just adjust it on the fly, and then we'll go from there. So what I'm doing is just gonna touch off on it. Okay, so I touched off right there. Wait till that stops spinning. I just touched off on the outside, so I know that I need to push the frame this way a little bit so that it straightens out. I just do that. Okay, so now I'm getting pretty decent, turn that off again, pretty decent contact all the way across. I'm gonna adjust it just a little more, could use another thou, and then I'll clamp it. And you really shouldn't mill anything that's not clamped down, but there's a friction fit here, it's in a little hole on the other side, and I'm maybe taking off 1/10 at a time, so I'm just locating it. Now that I know it's located, I take real light passes to just clean it up. Maybe half a thou at a time, 5/10. And I've got this set at 1.5 degrees. That's where I like my lock faces at. Just now, take the final pass, real slow. Good and cleaned up. Now, let's pop it off there. And just kind of wiggle it back and forth and it pops out. Pop that out and take you over to the desk. Okay, set you up here. Now the lock face is, probably still can't see this. Let's see, get some more light in here. There you go, just barely see it. I don't go all the way to the outside here. I just mill the inside. That way you can't see it, and it leaves this nice real thin section to where you don't really see the lock bar that much. And I take this at 1.5 degrees. This won't work for everybody's knives because everybody's knives, the lock bars are a little different, the angle's a little different, this, that, and the other. But what I found for the knives that I build my lock bars, all of them end to end are usually 2 3/4 inch. So I've found that through trial and error that 1.5 degrees works really well for me on my lock face cut, so that I'm not just getting all the pressure right on the very edge of the lock face. I'm actually getting it a little further in. Just seems to wear a lot better, it wears a lot slower, and just seems to work better. So I've been doing that here for the last probably 50 or 60 knives folders that I've done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it, push out the lock bar, and take my Dremel and just barely chamfer the edge of this. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with you guys being able to see it. But, okay. Just turn it on and bear with me here. So now, there's just a nice little bevel on the edge of that lock bar. That'll keep it from scraping against the tang of the blade. It seems to help a lot. So I do that. And then the next step is take this bash spacer. I'm going to go grind off this little tab. There it is. Grind that off real quick and bolt them back together. And I got 2 left that I got to do the lock faces on for the minis. And probably go have some lunch. So, there you go. Well, if y'all are wondering what I use for bearings, it's a little radial thrust bearing. There's a part number. Oh boy. Let's see what the total was on this. Holy crap. This for bearings. Well, and a couple of little ball bearings for a different project, but 68 of these dang things. Now I gotta go through and count them. And I always get a whole bunch of little washers with them that I don't use, so I got my awesome little drawer of miscellaneous stuff here, and oh, look at that. I just happen to have a couple washers left over from that. Unfortunately, the blades didn't show up from UPS. He just dropped off 3 boxes, and there should have been 4. I was thinking I would have got the heat treat today, but I'm gonna cut these guys open and see what goodies I got from WaterJet. I'll keep you tuned. Okay, so this will be the last bit of the video here for a couple days. Gonna go enjoy some Thanksgiving Day food tomorrow and take a couple days off. So we'll resume here shortly. Hopefully by Monday or Tuesday we'll have another video for y'all, and you'll be able to see the progress that's coming along. Get going on those minis and try to get them finished up, and then start finishing up on the large ones. So hope y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving, and take care and eat lots of food and be fat and merry. Alright, God bless.